Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Your Trip is Short podcast. I'm your host, Eric Lucier, episode number 86. It is day 9 of my musical advent, musical gifts to you, bands you should be listening to, or at least know about. And I've been fortunate to know about Day 9's band, Dogs in a Pile, for almost 3 years now, thanks to my very good friend, Cajun Jim. Cajun yanked me along. He never needs to yank me along. When he tells me to check out a band, I usually do so. He asked me along to see Dogs in a Pile at Orlando's in Burlington, Vermont in January of 2000, and went down and quickly fell in love with this 5-piece from Asbury Park, New Jersey. And I've been fortunate enough to see them a handful of times since. They love Vermont. They come up here quite a bit. They were playing at Moog's Place during COVID. And I remember just being in love with the fact that I could see live music during COVID. I love COVID, as Polly V would say, my friend from No Thought Required. Anyhow, Moog's Place in Johnson, just on the outskirts of Johnson, were hosting live outdoor shows during COVID on their back deck, and he hosted the Dogs a handful of times in 2000 and 2020, that is, in 2021. Only makes it seem like it was 20 years ago now. And so I've seen the Dogs a handful of times up there. Saw them at the Double E Performance Space in Halloween of 2021, and again at Higher Ground in January of 2022. Well, they've been all over the place over the last year, and their name is quickly getting out there to the lips of many on the jam scene. Quoted lyric, of course, from the Grateful Dead. Dogs in a Pile is far from just your traditional Grateful Dead-inspired jam band. A bunch of youngsters from New Jersey, just incredible talent from all 5 of them, led by the dynamic guitar duo of Brian Murray and Jimmy Law. They are augmented by Jeremy Kaplan, multi-instrumentalist and mainly a keyboardist, Sam Lucid on bass, and Joe Babick on drums. The 4 front guys all sing some good harmonies, some great jams. Every time I see them, they're just better and better and better, and they won over the crowd last night at Higher Ground, opening up for Pigeons playing ping pong right now. They had an hour-long opening set. They were the only reason I went to the ballroom last night at Higher Ground, and when they finished that last song of their set, talk about a pop. The crowd went crazy for them. The guys were on fire. As always, they're always video recording their shows, and they've been putting some shows on Nugsnet as of late as well. So anything that is officially released on YouTube as of late is really good quality. And today's going to be a little bit different on Your Trip is Short. So they unfortunately only have 10 songs, or actually technically 11, on Spotify. They have one full release that, don't get me wrong, it's very good. It's just not representative, like most jam bands, of what these guys do live. It's still worth checking out, and you're going to be hearing that here through Spotify. There are 10 songs that make up the release. Not Your Average Beagle. It came out in 2021. It's 57 minutes and 33 seconds of great Dogs in a Pile. They just recently released 2 new tracks, Stranger and then a live version of Stranger. And so you basically get 10 songs here on Spotify thanks to Anchor. But if you go over to my YouTube playlist, I'm going to be changing up things. Instead of the track Bubble, well, just the album release of Bubble, you're going to hear it going into EDM song from December 11th, 2021. Instead of just the Can't Wait for Tonight, we're going to hear Can't Wait for Tonight, Blues for Brian, and G Song from April 2nd, 2022. And instead of just Thomas Duncan Part 2, we're going to hear a great version with House of the Rising Sun Jam and Bent Strange from November 24th. And that must be, I'm trying to remember if that's November 24th, 2022 or 2021. Yeah, sorry. It was 2021's version of Thomas Duncan Part 2, House of the Rising Sun and Bent Strange. Was just looking it up here. So it's a little bit different here on this episode of Your Trip is Short, but I wanted to be able to demonstrate to you what these guys in Dogs in a Pile are doing exactly live, because on stage is where you absolutely must hear Dogs in a Pile. They're great on this record, not your average Beagle, but live is where you need to see these guys. They are playing all over the place. Just opened a handful of shows for Twiddle, and then one of the guys was sitting in, if not a couple of the guys sitting in each night, and now opening for Pigeons, playing ping pong right now. We're going to be linking to their socials. Dogs in a Pile official.com is where you can find them. You will not miss them the next time around if I have anything to say about it. I really do hope you enjoy Dogs in a Pile. Great up-and-coming jammers from Asbury Park, New Jersey. So much fun to see live. I really do hope you enjoy them. I've been digging them for years now, and hopefully you dig them now. It's my musical gift to you. Day number 9 of my musical Advent. Your Trip is Short, episode number 86. Thank you for tuning along and tuning in. If you want to check out any of the previous musical Advent days, check it out through my website. Links over to the YouTube playlists at yourtripisshortradio.com. I'm your host, Eric Lucier. Dogs in a Pile, musical Advent, day number 9. Your trip is short.